Hi, my name is Chris Layton. I'm the Sustainability Director for Eastman Specialty Plastics business. I'm joined today by Tara Carey. Tara is our Market Development Manager that leads our North American Cosmetics and Personal Care segment. We're both excited to be here to share a little bit about what we're doing on our advanced circular recycling technologies, what we call molecular recycling, and how we think it can be a key tool in the kit to help the cosmetics industry meet their circular economy sustainability goals. For those of you that don't know Eastman, we are a $9 billion specialty materials company, and last year we had the privilege of celebrating our 100th anniversary. We are headquartered in Kingsport, Tennessee, but we have a team of more than 14,000 people located in plants, research centers, and offices throughout the world. While you may not recognize the name, there's a good chance that you use a product or a product containing one of our products as we sell to customers in 100 countries in a wide variety of applications, including ingredients that do go into cosmetic and personal care products, as well as the associated packaging. Our mission is to improve the quality of life in a material way. And as we thought about that mission, we thought about the next 100 years of our company, we realized very quickly that the world has three challenges that it's facing. First, how do you maintain, improve the health and wellness care for a world that's fast approaching 10 billion people? Second, we have a waste problem. And lastly, our climate is changing, and with that comes a whole host of potential consequences. So we've been putting our values, or our money where our values are, and have been investing in two advanced circular recycling technologies. Our investments are guided by three key principles. We're only investing in technologies that allow us to take material to material. We're not investing to waste fuel. We're only investing in technologies that allow us to improve the greenhouse gas emissions associated with the products we produce. And lastly, we're investing in these technologies as a complement to the existing mechanical recycling infrastructure that exists. We believe with these technologies, we're able to recycle materials that today are hard to recycle, take them back to the basic building blocks, and then return them into high-value, high-quality products that allow us to take a meaningful step towards creating a circular economy for plastics. So I've mentioned a couple times the world's waste plastics problem. This slide kind of illustrates the magnitude of that problem. Every year, we as an industry produce more than 300 metric tons or million metric tons of new plastic. If you subtract out what ends up in durable applications, you still end up with more than 260 million metric tons of plastic that reaches the end of its useful life. And what this slide illustrates is a majority, more than 80% of that material ends up either landfilled, incinerated, or worse, leached into the environment. Even the materials that are collected, 16%, not all of that actually gets recycled. When we think about our advanced circular recycling technologies, we are trying to tackle that 80+% that does not get recycled. If you think specifically about cosmetics packaging, a large portion of the cosmetics packaging, due to the small format, the multiple colors, the nozzles, spray pumps, caps, don't lend itself or create barriers to being recycled. So they either are landfilled, incinerated, or they drop out in that process of recycling. And so the advanced circular recycling technologies have the potential to help address those issues, provide an end of life for cosmetics packaging. So let's talk about recycling, and let's start with mechanical recycling. It is what people traditionally think of when they think of recycling. So you typically start with a relatively clean, homogeneous stream. The best example is clear PET water or soda bottles. Those materials are collected, chopped up, washed, and then remelted, usually with virgin plastic added, to produce a new article. Very simple, very efficient process in terms of footprint. But mechanical recycling does have its limitations. First, you are limited to relatively clean sources because the process inherently doesn't have the purification, the cleaning to address some of the contaminants that ride along with those recycled materials. Secondly, there's degradation in the performance of those polymers over time. As polymers are reheated, they begin to lose property, impurities build up, and as such, a large majority of materials through mechanical recycling end up getting downgraded. In fact, only about 3% of that 260 million metric tons that gets collected every year actually gets returned to the same product. For example, a bottle returned to a bottle. The rest is either downgraded or, as we said, landfilled, incinerated, or worse, leaked into the environment. That's where we believe molecular recycling can act as a complement to mechanical recycling. With molecular recycling, you're able to start with a much wider variety of waste plastic feeds. So think of not only clear PET bottles, but also colored PET, copolyesters, polystyrenes, other polyolefins, carpet fiber, textiles. Those waste plastics can be then broken down into their basic molecular building blocks. Those building blocks indistinguishable from the same building blocks produced on fossil feed. And then we can feed them into existing manufacturing processes to produce a whole host of products across our entire portfolio with similar quality, safety, and performance. And we can do that potentially an infinite number of times. So when we think about it, if you can mechanically recycle a product, you should. It has a better footprint. If a material is not amenable to mechanical recycling, molecular recycling provides an option because, again, using waste plastics as a feed allows us to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions associated with that product. And in the case of our two advanced circular recycling technologies, that number can be, or that reduction can be anywhere from 20 to 50% lower greenhouse gas emissions, depending on the type of waste, where it's coming from, and what level of pre-processing we have to do with it. As I said, molecular recycling can handle a much wider range of waste plastics, and by going back to the fundamental building block, rebuilding those ultimate polymers back up, you can achieve a finished product based on waste plastic that has the same quality, same performance, same safety as that product made based on fossil feeds. And so the two technologies work very much hand in hand as complements to one another. What I'd like to do is show you a short video that gives you a little bit more information about what we're doing at Eastman and our two advanced recycling technologies. Once the video is over, Tara will take over and share with you some specifics we're doing with regards to the cosmetics industry.
It is definitely not a regional problem. It is a global problem.
There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a different approach.
After you've created that much material, where does it go? And our oceans, our environment, landfills, incinerated up to the air, those aren't acceptable options.
We are a manufacturer, we make materials, therefore it is incumbent upon us to be part of the solution.
The world is expecting us to deliver.
We've got to come up with a better answer. And it's going to take companies like Eastman that are willing to step out and make early investment and to show the world what's possible. And it's going to take people like Bruce DeBruin.
He's really the perfect combination of scientist and just a practical everyman.
He was the plant manager for the original polyester recycling plant that was in Rochester, New York, and is one of the key inventors on the redesign that we are getting ready to install here in Kingsport.
The process was first developed at Eastman Kodak Company in the 70s. The original process was a methanolysis process, and it was to break down plastic back into its raw materials to do molecular recycling so that we would have raw material to run the plant.
What started out as X-ray films expanded into a lot of different types of plastic as the engineers made it more robust.
Over the years in that process, we chose to switch out equipment, to use different processes, to come up with different ways to get that higher purity with lower energy costs, and lower energy costs is better LCA.
We spent 40 years learning to do it. Didn't start out easy. Took upwards of a decade to get pretty good at it, honestly. That heritage has given us this opportunity today to build upon this quickly, to show the world what's possible, to give them the opportunity to choose what's right for the planet and choose it right now.
We want to believe that that material that we're dropping in a recycle bin somewhere is absolutely getting converted into a new material somewhere, and that it doesn't somehow find its way to a landfill or incinerated or even worse, to a waterway. You know, the numbers are staggering.
In a mechanical recycling process, essentially the materials are collected, they're separated by type, and there are different businesses that will purchase those and they will reclaim them. It's a fairly simple process, but to do that requires pretty high quality materials.
Even the most recycled plastics, even with PET, not everything can get back into a circular economy. Most PET can't get from a bottle back to a bottle. Most of that is going to be downcycled into films and fibers and things that can't get back to that bottle. So it takes technology to do that.
Rather than, you know, that take, make, waste linear economy that we've had before, the circular economy is served by being able to bring a technology to market that allows us to unlock those value that's still in the material.
A big part of what we're trying to do is today you think about plastic waste as waste. With a new ecosystem, with new processes, waste can be seen as something different. Waste can be seen as raw material with value. Once something has value, people are going to treat it differently.
In molecular recycling, we take a material and we break it back down to its building blocks.
We take the waste streams, we take the streams that nobody else wants.
We're targeting the hard to recycle waste. How can we make that new again? We're using a process with methanol and catalysts to break plastic down into just one step below plastic. You know, from polymer to monomer. The farther you have to go back down into a basic feedstock, the more energy is to go this way, and the more energy is to come back up.
By going back just that one step, we can get a process that has, you know, 1,000,000 to 1, 1,000,000,000 to 1 refinement of impurities and components in that system.
One key advantage that molecular recycling brings to the table is the ability to repeat the process over and over. So you can essentially create a nearly infinite loop.
This can happen again and again and again. This is not about one time and it's done. This is about as many times as you can bring it back, you can use it again.
I think this technology proves that that is a future we can count on. It's not just an aspiration. It's not a pipe dream that's so far in the future.
This isn't something that's, you know, 5 years out, 10 years out. This is something we've known how to do before. We're doing it.
The proof points are there. You know, our customers like what they see. They are signing up to purchase materials that contain the recycled content. I'm very optimistic that we're going to be successful.
We've got, you know, a 40-plus year track record where this technology has already been proven. The kinks have been worked out, and so it's available today and can be scaled up.
We're constructing a plant that will have the ability to take 110,000 metric tons of plastic waste that would be destined for landfill and make it brand new again.
This is one of the most exciting things that I have worked on in my 22 years at Eastman. We have teams in Europe, we have teams in the US, all working together on how do we scale our processes faster. Everybody at the company has completely bought into this is our future, you know, that we are going to make a difference globally as we continue to scale these processes.
It is a global solution to a global problem. So we want every country to be recycling all their plastic back into plastic.
We feel very confident that the asset we're putting in the ground today will use that technology, build upon that history, divert material from landfill, leave fossil feedstock in the ground, and do it at a lower carbon footprint than you can make virgin product out of. Doing things differently, it's not easy. I mean, it takes capital, it takes risk, it takes being willing to change the status quo and being willing to be the one that's doing something that nobody else is doing. We have this unique opportunity, almost a responsibility to be a catalyst. to show the world what's possible.
Hello, I'm Tara Carey, and I'm going to walk you through the unique sustainability challenges in the cosmetics industry and talk about how we at Eastman are working to address these challenges. Packaging plays an essential role in connecting your brand to the consumer. It's a physical representation of your brand that the consumer experiences each time it's used. Over the past year, as COVID has limited our opportunity for luxury experiences offered by travel or spa visits, consumers have really turned to cosmetics and skincare to pamper themselves. Customers are looking for a luxury experience, and compromises on design, aesthetics, and performance just aren't acceptable. All at the same time, sustainability concerns in the industry have only gotten stronger. Brands and retailers are making aggressive commitments for sustainable packaging. So now, more than ever, brands need solutions for sustainable materials that also elevate their brand image and the consumer experience. As Chris explained earlier, molecular recycling offers a lot of advantages. One of the key advantages for cosmetics is the ability to make a package that looks the same, feels the same, and performs the same as the virgin package, yet offers significant environmental benefits. Over the past year, we've introduced materials made with our molecular recycling technologies in a number of consumer end markets, including cosmetics. The response from brands has been phenomenal. In the past few months, we've made announcements with brands such as Estee Lauder Companies, Tupperware, Camelback, H&M, and Nalgene, to name a few. With our plastics to plastics molecular recycling technologies, we are able to produce with materials with high levels of certified recycled content that offer all the performance benefits of the traditional materials while diverting waste plastic from landfill, keeping fossil fuel in the ground, and reducing GHG emissions. As you can see from the discussion today, this is a complex issue that requires careful consideration and teamwork from the entire value chain. No single solution will solve the plastic waste problem. Mechanical recycling alone just isn't enough. Molecular recycling will play an important role in addressing this global crisis and in meeting the cosmetic industry's unique challenges. Plastics to plastics and material to material molecular recycling is not a distant pipe dream. Eastman and other companies are offering solutions that are operational at scale today. We'll continue to actively seek out and form collaborations with companies across the value chain, our employees, customers, and other organizations to create standards and build frameworks aimed at preserving our natural resources and accelerating a circular economy. The cosmetics industry and Eastman have a shared goal to make the world a better place and to leave the world better than we found it for generations to come. We are working to meet the growing demands of our stakeholders and the world around us. Thanks for the opportunity to share this story with you. Chris and I will be available in the live Q&A session to take your questions, and we look forward to the discussion. For more information about our technologies and products, visit us at www.eastman.com/circular.